Hi, Kim. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Well, guys, I just want to introduce a very special person in our journey to keep the breast cancer awareness campaign going for the entire month. We brought in not only a special friend, but a colleague and a breast cancer survivor. So we're going to talk to Kim today about her journey and who she is and how special she is to both Mike and I. We've known each other for 20-something years.
We have, I think 23.
23 years, and we did real estate together back in the day.
We did?
We would literally come to the office, make our calls, go have margaritas for lunch.
I already know you were going there. Yes, we did. We would do our morning stuff, and then we go to lunch, and then we're like, how about a margarita?
Yeah.
And then how about two?
And then how about two? And then maybe we'll go show a house. Maybe we will, maybe we
We had
won't.
a lot of fun.
We did. We had a lot of fun kind of starting and building our real estate careers. And then we kind of, went into separate directions. We ended up getting married. Kim and Josh were in our wedding, which was super exciting, all the way in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yes, I remember I stood between you and Mike, and I was holding both of your rings. And I was like, I've got these rings. I mean, I could run off with these rings and go gambling in New Orleans, but I stayed.
You did. Thank God.
I stayed. It was a great, great wedding, fun experience.
That was fun. That was a fun time. And, and then life kind of takes you in all these different directions, right? So we started our family, and we, went to the restaurant business. I stayed a realtor, just kind of a small part of real estate, and you stayed a realtor in Fort Bend County. And then you guys moved to Oklahoma, is that right?
We moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Josh's job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you had an interesting journey while you were there.
I did. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I got there.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
We moved to Oklahoma in 2012.
Okay.
In 2013, I was 37 years old. I had sat down with my gynecologist and gone over my family history.
Mm-hmm.
My mother is a breast cancer survivor. My grandmother is a breast cancer survivor.
Wow.
So my doctor said, let's go ahead and do a baseline mammogram.
And how old were you?
37.
Okay.
37 years old. And they do normally start at 40.
Right, exactly. So this is 3 years before the regular checks.
Right.
Okay.
And it was because of my family history.
Right.
And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll go get one done. And that way we have a good baseline just to see where I was. So got my mammogram done. And they called me the afternoon after I had it done and said, we need you to come back. And I remember I got my calendar out. I'm like, okay, let me look at my calendar and see when the good time is. And she goes, tomorrow morning at 9. I'm like, oh, okay. So went back and did my mammogram. They had me do 3 other tests while I was there.
Okay.
Then I started realizing that there's something going on here.
Yeah.
I get a little choked up even kind of thinking about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We had to wait for all the tests to come back.
How long was that wait until the test came?
For this part, it was just like 24, 48 hours.
Okay.
They had asked me if I wanted to come in or if it was something they could do over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, just, over the phone, I'd be at home and my husband and I could both, be on the phone to hear it. And so they did call, and I heard the worst words of my life: you have cancer. I remember at that point I asked, am I going to die? And they said, we don't know until we do further testing.
Mm-hmm.
So they lined me up to go have a biopsy. Let me back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't have a tumor. There was no physical way of me being able to figure out by doing a breast check that I had a tumor. The cancer was in my cells.
Oh. So they detected it with the
mammogram showed
Okay.
it, and then they did ultrasounds and a couple of different tests.
Okay.
But there wouldn't have been a way without a mammogram to know that there had been a problem. So Josh and I went. That's my husband, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the doctor to go meet with my oncologist to kind of see what we needed to do. They gave us a treatment plan. I could either do a lumpectomy or with 38 rounds of radiation or a double mastectomy. So
they gave you the choice.
You had a choice of doing that.
Okay.
I felt like with the lumpectomy, I left that it could come back.
Right.
And that was just not something that I wanted. I didn't want to be scared every night wondering if it's going to come back.
Sure.
So chose to do a double mastectomy.
Now, was it just isolated, just in the breast? It had not spread anywhere?
That's what we found out when
Okay.
we had the double mastectomy. We got clean lines.
Mm-hmm.
It had not gone into the lymph nodes.
Okay.
So that meant I did not have to have chemotherapy. So I find it as a blessing that
Absolutely.
I was able to eliminate the cancer by having a double mastectomy.
Awesome.
It's not anything that anybody wants to go through,
Right.
but it
What was
made
the
me.
time frame?
I was diagnosed in June.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was June 8th. It actually ended up being about 60 days.
Oh, wow.
I was diagnosed June 8th, and then the doctor had told me that, take your time, but don't take too much time deciding what you want to do.
Sure.
Because I had a very aggressive cancer.
Wow.
So that's when I decided to do the double mastectomy.
Was that your very first mammogram?
It was.
Okay.
It was my very first mammogram.
Mm-hmm.
Part of what I wanted to do today is to let people know how important a mammogram is. If I wouldn't have done that with as aggressive as my cancer was, I wouldn't have been around.
It's so important.
It is, and it's very important to talk to your doctors. Talk to your doctors about your family history, because if that doctor wouldn't have said, hey, let's do a mammogram now,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been dead by 40.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
That's very scary.
yes.
'Cause we're all so busy. We're running around.
We are, and we
don't-
think it's,
you don't think
I'll
about
put
it.
it off, I'll do it next year. It hurts, it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It will save your life.
Absolutely.
It is
Absolutely.
very, very important.
So during that journey, so in 60 days, you were diagnosed, had the double mastectomy, and then, of course, the follow-up surgery,
Mhm.
and you had 0 chemo.
I did not have to have chemo because it did not leave my breast.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And
Amazing.
I find that as a blessing.
And this
every
is all in
day.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, not even in our amazing
This is this is in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and we've been there less than a year. We didn't know a lot of people.
Right? Or a good doctor, or
Right.
else, yeah.
At that time, I was selling real estate in Oklahoma, so
You were killing it in real estate in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was doing very well.
Yes,
Doing
you
very
were.
well.
New girl in the town, and she was taking over.
Yeah. I was doing really good with this one little hiccup that just kind of,
Yeah.
stumped my life for a little bit.
Yeah.
But the owner of my company helped me get with some of the best surgeons, and so I was blessed again.
Mm-hmm.
But my husband and I really had to lean on each other during this time.
Absolutely.
It was wonderful having him through the process. And I mean, he was scared. He was scared he was going to lose his wife.
I mean, it's an emotional roller coaster for both of you. And, even though the doctors say, yes, you're going to be okay if we do this, if we do that, we always know that something could happen.
Right.
Something might go wrong.
Right.
It might be wrong. So then you had the, rebuilding surgery after that. How long was that time?
So my surgery for the mastectomy was
Mhm.
August 8th, which I find it interesting.
Yeah.
June 8th, August 8th.
Wow.
And then I had to have expanders put in
Okay.
to grow the skin back. And then December 30th is when I had my reconstruction surgery that year.
Okay, reconstruction. And how often did you get checked after that?
Every year.
Every year.
Mm-hmm.
Every year. And so
And I
after
still
your
do.
first year, you still do.
Mm-hmm.
And after your first year, you were cancer-free.
Correct.
Wow. But this all could have gone a different direction had you not had a conversation with your doctor in a new town, and given your history, they said, let's go ahead and do a mammogram.
Correct. That doctor saved my life.
That doctor saved your life. So in our effort for awareness is don't be too busy.
Right?
Know
doesn't
your
take that
history
long.
if you can. Some people don't know their history.
Right.
Therefore, err on the side of caution if you don't know. Right?
Right.
So people that are like, oh, I'm too busy, I'll get to it. What do we want to tell them?
Do it now. It doesn't take that long, and it could save your life.
It really doesn't. You know, it's uncomfortable, especially if you have small boobs like me. You're like, we need to get some out to put on the thing, Audra. Push yourself forward, okay?
I didn't have that problem.
Okay, you didn't have that problem. I remember that. We could not wear the same shirts. That is correct. They were like, Audra! I don't remember when I started doing them, but I remember doing them before 40. I do remember doing that, and I feel like it was around the time that happened to you.
Probably.
When I was like, no, I'm going to get them. And our insurance was paying for it. You know, they say insurance companies don't pay for it, but our insurance company was paying for it. And our OB just sent us downstairs to do it.
I mean, 37 is very, very young for breast cancer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I got it, I was like, sure, I'll do it, and then, you know, go on with my life. And
yeah, that's right. So have you had your first colonoscopy yet?
I was scheduled for one, and I could not get all the liquid down.
Oh, I had mine. Michael made me. It was brutal.
I kept throwing up the liquid, so we're going to have to figure out a plan B.
Our next video is going to be about premenopause. We're not there yet, but once we get there, we're going to have to do a video about that next.
I think that'll be fun.
That'll be really fun. We'll have a fan going up into our crotch, 2 fans going into our face saying, hold on, we have a hot flash, let them pass, and then we'll finish the video. Yeah, no, that'll be crazy. But you're doing great now. So you guys moved back to Houston.
We moved back to Houston. We've been back for 5 years.
Okay, so you're home.
We are home.
Your mom is here.
My mom is here.
Mm-hmm.
My family is here.
And how's your career? You're in real estate. You're killing it back here now.
Great.
That's awesome.
Didn't miss a beat on it. I do want to talk about something that I did in August.
Okay.
August of this year was my 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
Of being cancer-free.
Mm-hmm.
And so in August, I did the Susan G. Komen 40-mile walk in Colorado.
Wow.
It was 20 miles a day.
Wow.
It was tough, but I feel like that was a way for me to just kind of get that.
Yeah.
And it was a good celebration. I mean, it was a good way to go 10 years, and I'm going to do this.
Absolutely. So you're going to do it again?
Absolutely. Signed up for San Diego next year.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be rough with those streets and that fun. Oh my gosh.
I got to figure out how to train for that.
Well, right?
Because we're a little flat here in Houston.
We're a little flat. So that's exciting. So if somebody wanted to do that, where would they go to find that information if somebody wanted to be a part of that?
Susan G. Komen, they have a Facebook, or you can just go online, and it's Susan G. Komen Walk.
Okay.
And they have them in all different states. We did Colorado this year. Next year we're going to do San Diego, and who knows what we're going to do the next year. But this will be a thing I will do every year. It was an amazing experience.
Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. So if there's one message that you could leave anybody watching this video with, what would you say?
I'm so glad I got to tell my story today, and if it could just save at least one person,
it's worth it.
It is.
And this is the first time you've ever told your story?
I have never told my story before.
Well, I am honored, and thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You are not only a friend, but you are also a colleague, and we need to stick together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.